Hi everyone, this is your Ruben. I hope all you might have watched the part 1 video, that is power sharing. So just before entering into our topic, I would like to tell you, this is again Ruben. Just believe me, I have done simply the haircut, because you might have seen me in a different way that I didn't do haircut. Okay, that is the only difference here. But again the Ruben who is going to teach you social science. We are going to continue with the same chapter 1 in our democratic politics, that is power sharing. So hope you all are doing good. So now we will discuss the remaining topics in the power sharing. Okay, so I hope you have understood the concept taught by me. So that is nothing but power sharing we have started, and we have gone with 2 different case studies. So our case studies are quite different. We have seen about Belgium and we have seen about Sri Lanka. So in Belgium, of course, it was a small European country. They have formulated a very wonderful methodology that we can say they have respected others' feeling. So they have avoided civil war. Finally, they have derived a lot of reformations they have brought, like community government, and the ministers should be equal. So they have formulated several things, hence the country had attained a good level. Okay, so the peace was there with the country, and now finally we have ended up the Brussels. Okay, the Brussels is nothing but the capital of Belgium, so which was chosen as the European Union headquarters, as well as the European Union Parliament is located in Belgium. So which was after all these efforts, because they have proved who they are. So finally they were chosen for several, in order to respect them, we have given all those recognition. I mean, the European Union have given recognition for that country. But whereas in other case, okay, in the contrasting, in Sri Lanka, it was not so. Okay, they didn't consider others' feelings. Finally, what happened? They were ended up with the civil war. And I have made you clear about civil war, right? Within a country, if a war or if a, terrifying conflict arises, we can say that as civil war. Okay, okay, guys. So this is all about that. And finally, we have decided, okay, why power sharing is desirable. So we have 2 different reasons, that is prudential and moral reasons. So moral, we can say the very basic idea of power sharing is nothing but the very spirit of democracy. In a democratic country, the power must be shared. For example, India is a democratic country, here the power is shared. Similarly, the prudential reason, prudential is nothing but speaking about the actual thing. So prudential is nothing but speaking about actual thing. That means if we share the powers like Belgium, we can avoid the conflicts. We can avoid simply fighting with the other community people. Okay, not like Sri Lanka. That's all. That's all about power sharing, children. So the thing is, the power sharing is not weakening the powers. So you must be very clear with the concepts. So when we divide the powers, when we share the powers, it is not meant that we are weakening it. In turn, we are strengthening the nation's unity, the nation's strength. Okay, so that is what we are going to see in our today's video. It's quite a very simple and short video. So kindly watch till the end. Fine. So vertical form of power sharing. So before going to this, we have lot of types in case of our power sharing. Okay, so power sharing are many types. Okay, so like 4 types we have classified in the textbook. So one is vertical form of power sharing, and horizontal form of power sharing, and then power is shared among different social groups, then political parties. Okay, all those we are gonna discuss. So the primarily power is shared among vertical form of power sharing and horizontal form of power sharing. So first and foremost thing, we will discuss about vertical form of power sharing. So here, in case of vertical form of power sharing, you need to know power is shared among different levels. Okay, you should have this only one word in your mind. When it is vertical form of power sharing, it is understood that there are different powers are shared at each level. So each level has its own jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is nothing but boundary, children. Jurisdiction is nothing but boundary. or we can say limitation. Okay, so which has a boundary or limitation, that is called jurisdiction. So each tier of government or each level of government has its own jurisdiction, it has its own boundary, so they have to look after that, which again it is understood that these government have some more higher, when it goes high, obviously the powers are getting high. For example, we can say local governments, state government and central government. So we are running 3-tier government in case of India. So far we have discussed a lot about power sharing with 2 different case studies, that is Belgium and Sri Lanka. Now we are going to discuss completely about our India, how the power sharing arrangements are there in our country. So vertical form of power sharing, between the levels of government, we will have the power difference obviously. So local government, they are under state government, they are under central government, clear? So the power is shared among different tiers, levels, all are same. Now union government is also called as central government, state government and local government. So in case of local government, actually when we have got independence, it was not the 3-tier government, it was just 2-tier government. The local government was formed after independence, after a long break it was created. So why the power is again and again it's been shared? The reason is very simple. In order to rule the country, in order to reach out the people's need, we must share the powers. Okay, it is not that power must be rested with one hand. For example, we might have heard that kings rule, monarchy, autocratic. So all these, okay, so there will be only one ruler. So it is highly impossible to look after the people's need. So we cannot satisfy the needs of people. So obviously, what should be done? There must be powers should be divided. Power must be shared in order to look after people's need. So the people are the ultimate source for a country's development, whatever be the thing. So if a country wants to be a developed country, the people should be good, the people should be in such level, then the country is said to be the developed country or developing country or underdeveloping country. So it is all about the people only. So here the people are the very important entity. So we have to reach out their needs. That is the first and foremost reason of power sharing. So here always in India, union government has more power than any other form of governments. So local government, at last it was created just to look after the local bodies. So in turn it has municipalities and panchayat. So in panchayat you can say district panchayat, intermediate and village. It is nothing but in each and every village we have village president. So all these people were elected by the people. Same thing, Nagar Panchayat, Municipal Council and Municipal Corporation. It is again the subdivisions in local government. Okay, so we have both the political bodies and the governmental offices like VAO, Village Administrative Offices, we can say. So the government office is also there. At the same time, we have political bodies also there. For example, you can say in a village, president will be there, he was elected, village president, he was elected by the people. Similarly, one more thing, VAO, village administrative officer is there, he had come through examination. So the government side officers there and the people elected leaders are there. Similarly, for example, for a district, we have district collector, also called as district magistrate. Here we can have mayor. Mayor is there. Political body. Same. CM is there. For example, CM we can put it here and governors are there. And PM is there. President is there. So you need to understand both these two kind of arrangements just to look after the needs of people. Okay. So for that, these kind of arrangements have been created. So the power is shared. These people are not elected by the people, but whereas these people are elected by the people. So this is the simple difference. So the power is shared among different levels of governments. For at each level, they have certain jurisdiction that has been clearly specified in the chapter 2 children. Okay. So that has been clearly specified in the chapter 2. That is union list, state list and concurrent list. Okay, so that we'll discuss in the while we are talking about second chapter. So that's all about vertical form of power sharing. Here between the levels of government we have difference in power. Fine. Now we'll just move on to the second form of power sharing, that is horizontal form of power sharing. So here if you look at it, you can easily understand that there is no difference in case of power sharing. Okay, so each organ, so where in the vertical form of power sharing we have discussed about the levels, but here we are going to discuss, okay, about different organs. So all these organs are at the same level, there is no difference between their powers. Okay, so each and every organ is said to be a very important organ to look after again people. So legislature, executive and judiciary. So judiciary is completely, it speaks about, okay, court, that is what the picture shows clearly. And executive they will be in the implementation. Okay, legislature is nothing but simple, it is law making. Those who are indulging in the process law making, they are all called as legislature. Parliament you can take up for the example. And executives will be there in the implementation process. Here we have political executives and governmental officers. So both they will strive hard for the implementation. Whatever the rule has been created, that will be implemented by these executives. Judiciary is nothing but about courts, Supreme Court, High Courts, judges, advocates. So they will do the umpire work, umpire duty will be done by them. If there is any conflict between, legislature and the people or executive and the people, so they will just look after, they will just interfere and they will sort out the things. So here different organs, it is horizontal power sharing, there is no power difference, guys. So only all are at the equal level. Okay, it is not that executive are higher in power, judiciary is higher in power, no, but each and every organ has got the right to look into the function of other organs. Okay, so they will monitor, each organ has the rights to look after the other organs and other organ functions. Fine, this is all about horizontal form of power sharing. So I hope you have understood, you can understand what I am telling. So vertical we have power difference, horizontal all are at the same level, so there is no difference in case of power sharing. So right from the beginning I am telling you the very simple point that sharing of powers is not about weakening the powers, in turn which strengthens the unity of the country. Good. So the power may also be shared among, this is the third form of power sharing. So the power also be shared among different social groups. Okay, so different social groups we have divided the powers and we have given them recognition. So not like Sri Lanka, that is the reason why still we have no civil war. So far we didn't face such kind of problem because we have shared completely our powers soon after the independence. So we have started creating our own constitution with the help of constitution makers. So such as the religious and linguistic groups. So India has different languages, that is there in the federalism again, guys. So there are 22, okay, there are 22 regional languages. You can say scheduled languages also. So different language speakers are there in India and different religious people are there in India, but never we have discriminated them. We have started recognizing them in many ways. That is what India is a peculiar country. India is socially diversified country. We have got wonderful social diversity. Now the power is even divided among everybody. When I say about constitution, only a great word should, a great name should strike your mind. That is none other than our Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the one who was the chairman, chairman of writing our constitution. Okay, so whenever you speak about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, obviously he had favored many things for the so-called lower caste, that is SC and ST. So SC and ST people, he had made a lot of advantages, lot of privileges have been made for them. The reason is very simple. They have discriminated like anything. Okay, so in the previous history, when we look into that, so they were in the pinnacle of the peak. I mean, other religious people, other community people, already we were slaves, guys. Already we were slaves. We were like slaves completely. We were dominated by Britishers, but still, these people, our Indians, in turn, they have further dominated the lower caste people. So that is what SC and ST people. So because of that only, which stimulated Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, India started giving them, while he had written the constitution, he had made many privileges. So that is the moment the power had shared even to the social groups in order to recognize them, in order to make a part in decision making in everything. So we should give a fair chance, a fair share to other community people also. So this is how we have got reserved constituencies. Okay, reserved constituencies. So we have seen, right, for in Belgium they have created a community government, which means if there is any problem related language, immediately they will come to the picture and they will sort out the things. If there is any dispute or if there is any problem, they will come to the picture. In case of reserved constituencies, okay, what do you know about constituencies? Guys, constituencies are nothing but India has been divided into many constituencies. Again, the reason is very simple. Okay, so in each and every constituencies, there will be one person or many person will be contesting in the election. So he or she will be elected by the people, and the elected representative will rule them, will reach out their needs. So this is very simple. Again, just for the ruling purpose, India has been divided into many constituencies. So we have just divided our India into many parts just for the ruling purpose, just to meet out the needs of people. So the reserved constituencies are nothing but, in these areas, no other community people can contest in the election except SC and ST. Okay, this is the great opportunity created by our constitution makers in order to recognize the so-called lower class, so that they can also take part in case of parliament, in case of important parliament. As we all know, this is the law making body. So in the parliament, their attendance must be there. In order to make their presence in the parliament, we have given such a great privilege for them. So you might have heard a lot, right, like scholarships, university positions, or wherever you go, there is a word, okay, there is a word common name called quota. So quota has been created. The reason is to recognize them, okay, to recognize their interest also. So India, we are an example in terms of many ways. We are an example for other countries. Great. So the reserved constituencies, only people belonging to such community, okay, SC and ST, they can only participate in election. Okay, so there is no other chance of losing the election. So obviously the elected representative will be the SC or ST, or the so-called lower caste people. So they will also come in the decision making, and they will take part in many political activities and many other, okay, we can expect. So in order to equalize them, so like ST people are again nothing but scheduled tribe. So the tribal people, they will also be in the decision making. If this provision is not made, definitely it is not possible. It is highly impossible to get them back. Okay, so that is the very basic motive of our constitution makers. So we are all, we were like slaves. So again, nobody should enslave. Okay, it is not that only the Britishers can come and they can, colonize us. So no Indian should be discriminated in any ways. That is the very basic idea of making our own constitution. I hope you have got this point. So just to make it very normal, to equalize, we have made several provisions, not only for them but also for women, and so many things. Okay, so far we have discussed 3 forms of power sharing. Now the final one is nothing but the political power is shared among different political parties, pressure groups and movements. So in terms of this, you have to understand again. So what we have discussed with the first thing, power is shared among different levels of government. Okay, so different level in the sense there is a difference in power sharing, and power is shared among, okay, the second thing, the power is shared among different horizontal power sharing, different organs. That means there is no power difference. Okay, so each organ can look into the functioning of other organs. Okay, so all are placed at the same level. That is called horizontal form of power sharing. The third one is, that is what we have discussed, the power is shared among different social groups. That is nothing but reserved constituencies. We have discussed so far, not only for the reserved constituencies, for many other like women, fundamental rights, so many things. Okay, it speaks for the different social groups, it speaks for the different people, everything. And now the final one, political parties. So here you need to understand why it has been divided into political parties, again election. So if it is a democratic country, the powers must be shared and the election must be conducted at regular interval, and those who are contesting an election and those who are winning with the majority, they should become the rulers. Okay, not anybody else, since India is a democratic country. Here you need to understand one thing, guys, democratic is nothing but, okay, so democratic, here demos you can say. Okay, so here demos is nothing but people, kratia is nothing but rule. So people's rule, that is what all about democratic country. So here the people should be the rulers. Okay, in turn the people are ruling the entire country. So through political parties. Okay, so any political party can contest an election, but the reason is very simple. Okay, so they should get the majority. Those who are getting the majority can form the rulings. Okay, that is what the scenario here. Power is shared among different political parties. So we have a separate chapter called political parties, where we will be reading about national parties and state parties. So what are all the eligibility criteria for a party to be considered as national parties? Okay, everything we are going to see in detail. Okay, so the power here, you need to know only one thing, that coalition government. Okay, so coalition government. So what is mean by coalition government? That you should know. So if their alliance is elected, they form a coalition government. Okay, and thus share power in a democracy. Okay, so the power of democracy has been divided between different political parties. See, once it was not a thing, coalition government is formed recently, but at starting, soon after the independence, people used to get a majority in the election. So there is no need of making alliance with other party. So coalition government is nothing but joining with other party in order to form government. That is called coalition party. For example, political party X, Y, Z is getting some 15 seats. For example, he is getting some 16 and Z is getting some 7 or whatever. Okay, so actually speaking, the party Y should form the rule. Okay, but if X and Z are consented with each other, they are getting the majority, 15 plus 7. So these people can form government. That is called coalition government. So in coalition government, we have some disadvantages also, like they cannot take decisions unilaterally. Okay, so all the time they should consider with the other party, the one who is in alliance with us. So there are certain disadvantages also. These many things will be clearly discussed in our forthcoming chapter, that is federalism. So far we have come to know, we have concluded that the power sharing is always helpful and it is the very spirit of democracy. So powers must be shared in order to avoid conflicts, fights, okay, between different community, between different language speakers. So obviously powers should be shared. That's all about the entire topic, power sharing. So we may think that why different rulers are coming, each and every interval of period, different rulers are coming. Is there any instability in ruling? No, not like that. If the people are believing in a person, okay, and they are electing the person, so which means, okay, he can be a ruler, he will do the good things. If he is not doing so, obviously we have got a fair chance. Okay, so in the other election we can definitely take our own decision, we can remove him from the post. So people have got the ultimate authority to do anything in a democratic country. Here people are said to be the most important thing. So the power is completely distributed among the people. So this is all about, entirely it revolves around power sharing. Okay, so power is divided between different traders, businessmen, farmers. So everybody, each and everyone has got different powers in their own way. Okay, so this is all about democratic country. So here we have studied about coalition government, different political parties. So this is how we have got the power sharing arrangement. So in case of decision making also, for example, if power is shared, we must decide, we must discuss everything, and then the rule must be taken. So but whereas in the olden, ancient period, there was autocratic monarch, king's rule. There, they no need to ask anybody. If they want, they will implement, simply just like that they will implement. But we cannot follow the same, because one man cannot think in each and every aspect, where the people want this, whether they want that. Okay, it is highly impossible. So for a better and for a longer run, for the efficient decision making, of course powers must be shared. So each and every person, each and every social background people, they will think in their own way. Okay, that is the reason we have a setup called parliament. So everything is for the people's wellness. So this is all about power sharing. So in the forthcoming chapters, we will read different concepts, different methodology. So before ending our topic, of course, we are going to conclude our session by today. Okay guys, we have come to the conclusion part. So social science is not the subject which you can read up to your 10th standard. It is just beyond that. Clear? So wherever you take an example, if you want to go for RRB, if you want to go for Staff Selection Commission, UPSC, TNPSC, or whatever the public commission it may be, so you require social science. Okay, it is not just a subject. You will just come across in our daily life also, in terms of election, that is what our politics, in terms of history. So you will come across with everything. Okay, so it is actually incomparable with other subjects. Okay, we cannot speak about biology at home, we cannot. Okay, so to go in deep with other subjects, definitely social science is a vast subject, and at the same time very, very important subject. Not only for the shorter run, for longer run, you will definitely require social science. So that's all about today's class, guys. So don't forget to like the video, share the video, and do subscribe our channel. Press the bell icon for the upcoming videos. So see you in the next video. Thank you all. Bye bye.